right, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Eddie D. Williams. Welcome to another brand new episode of Just Talking About. Certainly glad to be among you guys. We are presented by Rebirth Publishings, the publishing arm of my adult superhero romance thriller saga, The Affinity Saga, with Book 1, the three-time award-winning Affinity Theory, and Book 2, Echoes, available in the Affinity Saga store. Just go over to the store at your earliest convenience to get your copy of the Affinity Theory and Echoes. Listen, I was supposed to go live earlier today around 11:30, but I had to go get my car out the shop. Thank God my car came back today. So happy to be back on these mean streets. But certainly, again, did not want to go today without being able to go live, and an opportunity presented itself for me to do that. So here we are, going back live once again to be able to share with you the things that are going on in my mind here on the Just Talking About podcast. Today, we got three things that I want to talk about. We may get through two of them, but definitely want to try to get through all three if we have the time today. We want to talk about Tasha Cobbs and the invitation to go and perform a worship experience as at the Kennedy Center, and some of the backlash that some people have given her, and she ain't sung not a note yet. We also want to talk about my word of the year, perspective, and some of the things that I have just been gaining from that word in particular over the course of this past year, and just want to share some insights with you guys. And lastly, we're going to be talking about setting goals. I've been talking to a lot of people lately about how can I move forward with the things that I want to do, the things I'm trying to get into with my life, and the things I want to move forward in, some of the projects that I have going on with me. And so I want to talk about how to set goals in a way that allows you to propel to your future. And so those are the things we're going to be talking about on this episode of Just Talking About with your boy Eddie D, right here on the various social media platforms presented by Rebirth Publishings. So let's get into it. Tasha Cobbs is under fire once again after having accepted the invitation from the Kennedy Center to perform in a worship experience that is part of their presentation of a movie that's coming out, a documentary that's coming out in regards to I think it's called the Revival Generation, the Revival Generation. And so some people within the black community had a whole attitude about that. The black church community in particular had a whole attitude about that. One person in particular, and not gonna out him because I don't know him like that. I don't like outing people like that. But the person basically said, I keep side-eyeing these gospel artists because it's almost as if they think what is going on in America is a joke. No solidarity, no active resistance, no real concern with what really matters in this climate. This is why I was annoyed with Todd Delaney, and why this equally annoys me. Tasha Cobbs lives in South Carolina, one of the reddest states in these disputed states of America. She should know better. I'm really starting to hate this church, not to be confused with the church. And up underneath is a picture of Tasha Cobbs on the Kennedy Center saying that they're thrilled to announce that one of gospel music's most compelling voices, Tasha Cobbs Leonard, will be leading worship on August 27th, that's tomorrow, for the premiere of the Revival Generation. So I naturally jumped into these DMs, into this thread, because I was confused. I kind of understood what was going on, but I like to get the clarity. And so I went and asked. I said, this isn't the Kennedy Center Awards what our president has co-opted. This is a whole separate thing that has nothing to do with him. I'm confused. And so the person then responded to me saying he didn't co-opt an event. He took over the entire building, and he replaced several board members with loyalists. He's even spouting that he's going to change the name. And so I said, I didn't know that it ran that deep. So is that same board then putting this event together too? And so other people said the same thing, that he appointed himself. One person got real super snappy with me and said something to the effect of, study to show yourself approved. Maybe if you would study, then you wouldn't be confused. And so I asked the question, When we say we love Jesus and will go wherever he sends us, does this include places where contrarian politics and authoritarian rule reign? And again, this person got so upset with me about that, and said some other things that I'm not going to repeat on here. But the fact of the matter still remains that, you have people who are so upset with Tasha Cobbs over going to the Kennedy Center to perform her songs in a praise and worship moment for the premiere of this movie named The Revival Generation. Now, mind you, they do have, Ben Carson going too, which is kind of questionable a little bit, but, his religion is his religion. And you also have, it's about the movie and the fact that you have this Unite Us movement that started on this school campus and, has led thousands of people to Christ. So the reason why I brought this up is because we find ourselves once again in a situation where if you're not for me, you are against me. If you don't resist the powers that be the way that I resist the powers that be, then you are not aligned with me at all. I remember when we had the 2020 election and you had all the things that were happening during that time, and you had people that were resisting, you had people that were fighting, you had people that were doing all these different things in an attempt to try to make their voices be heard. And I recall having a conversation with some of my friends and saying that not everybody has to resist the same way you resist to be a part of the resistance. And I think that for some people, like the person and persons like him who were talking to me in this chat, they feel like if you're not resisting the powers that be the way that they're resisting the powers that be, then you are not a part of the resistance at all. Everyone can't be the same thing the same way at all times. And there are ways to resist, the powers that be and the things that they're spouting and the things they're trying to put in action. That is their lane. That's your responsibility. That's your part of the movement. Every part of the movement doesn't look the same. Every part of the resistance doesn't look the same. But it doesn't mean that you're not a part of the resistance. That's number one. I can't judge a person for resisting the move, for resisting the way that they're resisting, as long as their resistance is founded upon the same principles. If we're on the same team, we're on the same side. Everybody can't be the point guard. Everybody can't be the shooting guard. Everybody can't be center. We go to football. Everybody can't be the quarterback. Everybody can't be the running back. Everybody can't be the wide out. Everybody can't be the front line. Everybody can't play defense. You got to play your part of the resistance. But far too often, we get frustrated with people who don't resist the way that we do, who don't fight the way that we do, who don't join the movement the way that we're joining the movement. So we call them sellouts, and we call them, oh, you ain't down with us, and things of that nature, simply because they're not willing to put their lives on the line the way that you are. It doesn't mean that they're not a part of the resistance. It just means that not everybody has to play the part of the same part in the resistance at the same time. That's number one. Number two, Tasha Cobbs is a gospel singing artist. Her bread and butter, what she does is she sings for the Lord. Now, because the president's name is attached to the Kennedy Center now by his own self-approval, it does seem weird, right? That you would then want to be a part of something that his name is clearly attached to because he put it on there. But at the same time, we as the believers, I'm talking to the believers in the house now. We as the believers, we are told and taught on repeat that when an opportunity presents itself to give the gospel to somebody, we don't just push that opportunity away. Even if it's an invitation that's been given to us by one of the most diabolical people on the planet, we still have to weigh and measure, is this an opportunity for the gospel to be preached, for the word to be given? And so I don't know who's a part of Tasha Cobbs' team. I don't know who she had around her. But if it were me and I were in her position, I would see this as an opportunity. They may never invite me back to the Kennedy Center again. But you best believe, while I am there, I'm going to tell y'all about yourselves in the name of Jesus. Because at the end of the day, an invitation has been given. And we would not squander an opportunity to give someone what we believe is the cure for all our ails. The cure for all our ails. If I'm Tasha Cobbs, and, I've been singing Break Every Chain, For Your Glory, all these other songs, Gracefully Broken, all these songs I've been singing for years. I'm given an invitation to go and sing these songs to these people at the Kennedy Center. Is it possible that maybe, just maybe, somebody's soul might be saved in the midst of that? Which brings me to the biggest point of all. I feel like we as a people, I'm talking to the believers in the house. I'm talking to the believers. I feel as though in this moment, in this season, for some of us, we have put our politics above people. We put our politics above the faith. We forget that the end game for all believers is that God be glorified. And we forget that he has put us on mission to help save souls. Not that we're doing the saving, but it's him that's doing the saving, but that we present the gospel so that somebody's soul can be saved. That was the last thing that I had said to the person who was in the chat with me before they decided not to talk to me no more. I said, is not the end game for us the glory of God? Why is it that we're putting politics over the mission? We're putting what we feel over the mission. Because the mission is to save souls. The mission is not to eradicate one regime and put in another. Regimes fall and rise all the time. The end game is not to show them. No, that's not the end game. The end game is the salvation of souls. Now, it does not mean that we are oblivious to what's happening. Like I said, let them invite me to the Kennedy Center to sing some songs. Oh, I'm going to sing and I'm going to resist. And y'all are not going to invite me back no time soon. Because I'm going to tell you about yourselves. I'm going to tell you about yourselves. So again, this is in no way saying that if she goes, she should be ignorant of what's happening and not say anything about what's happened. But she also should not just say, no, I'm not going to go because of whose name's attached to it. Man, there's people's names attached to everything, everywhere, all the time. People who have done some heinous things. But we don't say anything, oh, thank you for this nugget. We don't know what the Barclays have done, but we going to go to the Barclays Center. We don't know what, the Staples Center, what the Staples people have done, but we going to go to the Staples Center. We don't know what Mercedes-Benz has done, but we going to go to the Mercedes-Benz Center. And we going to do, if they invite us, we going. We going to go. Lord knows, I wish I could go to Dragon Con like I wanted to this weekend. I don't know what those people at the Dragon Con represent. I don't know what they represent. But Lord knows, if they gave me the invitation, and if I could go, I would, but I got to preach on Sunday, so I can't go. But let it be. If you give me the invitation, dadgummit, I'm going. I'm going to go, and I'm going to show out, and I'm going to show you who I am, and I'm going to resist the powers that be while singing these songs. For your glory, I will do anything just to see you, to behold you as my king, the king that y'all say y'all serve, but you're worshiping another king in this. listen, all I'm saying is, couldn't be me. Because if you invite your boy, oh, we going to sing some songs, but we going to speak truth to power at the same time. Now, I don't know if Tasha Cobbs is going to do that, but I think it would be an opportunity for her to do something like that. But again, to outright say no, I think would be a missed opportunity. Having said that, though, if she said no, I would not have any qualms with that either. Because my hope and expectation would be that it would be because of who's in power, what's going on, all the things. So she's like, no, I'm not going because I don't want to be a part of that. And that would be her right. Just like it's her right to go and to be a part and to sing songs about the glory of God and all the things. And so I'm again saying all that to say, we as believers, we too would be in a much better place if we could be more nuanced in our zealousness for God, in our zealousness for righteousness. Because far too often we are excommunicating people way prematurely simply because they're choosing a different path of resistance than us. Again, I don't know what she gonna do tomorrow when she goes to the Kennedy Center and has this worship experience with these people. You know, don't know what her set's gonna be, don't know what she gonna say. I wish I could be there for it. Maybe they have a live stream, I'd love to watch it. But at the end of the day, we as the believers will do a far better job praying for her, praying that she would walk in courage, praying that she would walk in strength, praying that she would walk in truth, and then speak those things to the powers that be in a way that will allow somebody's heart to be changed, to be transformed, and to join the resistance, but to do so in a way that glorifies God. Again, we're too quick to write people off as if God can't change a person overnight. We're too quick to cut people off just because of the platforms that they have. We have to give an opportunity for grace, an opportunity for change. We're not praying enough as a body of believers. We're not praying enough as the people of God. Instead, we're spending more time throwing shade and throwing barbs at one another, to the point where I understand why people don't want to be saved. I understand why people don't want to be a part of the kingdom. I understand why people don't want to follow Jesus. Because look at us, man. Like every other week we fighting with each other over something silly, instead of coming together as a people and recognizing that, dude, I ain't got no beef with you. You ain't got no beef with me. We're on the same side. We're on the same team. Why are we fighting against each other? That makes no sense. A house divided cannot stand. What sense does it make us continuously fighting each other? Why are we beefing? Make it make sense. Why are we beefing with each other? Because again, if one person, and this is the part that always makes me smile. If one person walks out of that room, that auditorium, that place, and says to God, I want to be saved, then the mission is a job well done. Even if it doesn't work out like that, if God be glorified through what we've done in this place, then he gets the glory. If people's hearts are hardened, he's going to get the glory. If they're softened, he's going to get the glory. But at the end of the day, it's not the mission to glorify God so that somebody's soul may say, I yield. Is that not the end game for us as the believers? Again, I think we get too wrapped up into, our politics to where we miss the mission. And we want so badly for people to fight the same way we're fighting and to resist the same way that we're resisting, when in fact there are multiple paths to the same goal. Just like there's many members but one body, there are multiple paths to the same goal. So why are we upset with Tasha Cobbs for having accepted the invitation to go to the Kennedy Center to sing about the Lord? Should we not be happy about that? Should we not be rejoicing in that? Should we not be grateful about that? Because, and here's why I say that. Because I know somebody's soul has gotten saved off of Break Every Chain. I know somebody's soul's gotten saved off of For Your Glory. I know somebody's soul's gotten saved off of Gracefully Broken. So it's not like she's not singing the gospel. So should we not be celebrating and praying that she go into that space and sing to the glory of God, and somebody hear the sounds, the gospel melodic coming out of her, and say, I want to be a part of the kingdom? I think for a lot of us, the kingdom has become such a faint reward that we would much rather have peace on earth than peace with him. I think for a lot of us, we think of heaven to be such this faint thing that we spend more time trying to manufacture heaven on earth rather than accepting the heaven that God is in our own hearts. And as a result of that, we spend so much time tearing our own soldiers down, tearing our own people down, rather than lifting them up in prayer, lifting them up in encouragement, and praying that they're able to do what God has called them to do in those spaces. And so again, I just solicit that maybe, just maybe, God appointed Tasha Cobbs for such a time as this. And so I would hope and pray that we would encourage her and pray for her as she embarks on this opportunity tomorrow and doesn't cower in the face of fear, but speaks truth to power and does exactly what she has been called to do in that space. You are watching and listening to the Just Talking About podcast with your boy Eddie D. Williams, presented by Rebirth Publishings, the publishing arm of my adult superhero romance thriller saga, The Affinity Saga, with book 1, the 3-time award-winning Affinity Theory, and book 2, Echoes. You can find both of those books in the Affinity Saga store by going over to the bio and following the instructions in the bio to discover the world of Uri City and Malcolm, Simone, and their superpowered teammates as they have come together to take down maniacal forces of darkness and rogue political factions in both books 1 and 2 of the Affinity Saga. So I encourage you to go over to the bio and follow the instructions in the bio to receive your copies of the Affinity Theory and Echoes right now in the Affinity Saga store. Again, you are watching and listening to the Just Talking About podcast with your boy Eddie D right here on the various platforms of social media, as well as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And we do appreciate y'all so much for taking the time out of your day to listen to me blather on about whatever is on my mind. Speaking of what's on my mind, all year, my word of the year has been perspective. Perspective. Turning 40, man, turning 40 did something to me. I don't know what it is. I call it going over the hump. I don't know. But it's something about turning 40 this year, man. It just brought a lot of things into perspective for me. Body's not as strong as it used to be. Aching in places that I didn't know existed. Get a lot tireder than I used to and things like that. And, you know, drinking coffee a lot more than I ever have because I never used to drink coffee. And, you know, watching my babies grow up. My wife and I, you know, 17 years deep into our marriage, and watching our babies grow up and watching them grow and just do all the things they're doing, it's just brought a lot of perspective to me. I never imagined life would be as it is, with all the things that are going on with me and my walk, my wife's walk, my kids' walk, being able to establish, and maintain healthy relationships with my extended family, my mom, my dad, you know, working the job that I work. It's just brought a lot of perspective to things for me. And I realized that a lot of things that I was majoring on in my 20s and 30s, man, if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't be. I probably would have wilded out a little bit more because I took life way too seriously in my 20s and 30s. And again, I realized this year particularly, that life is short and long at the same time. Life is short and long at the same time. We got time to do the things that we want to do. We trying to do everything as fast as we can because we don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring. But life is short and long at the same time, and the perspective has really shifted my thinking and helping me to understand that we got to keep the things that are major, and the things that are minor, make them minor. We are too wrapped up into a lot of things that really ain't that serious. It ain't that deep. It ain't that deep. I told y'all last week about the person who got offended because Nadia Cole put an owl on her social media page. Like, we spend so much energy on things that do not matter in the grand scheme of things. In the grand scheme of things, we put so much energy into these minor things, these minor first world things that, I understand to a greater degree when people talk about, man, there are people that are suffering far worse than you could ever imagine in other places. What are we complaining about? And then again, this isn't a referendum on, our political system, because it is trash and hashtag resist. But again, that too, majoring on minors. Like, we spend so much energy and time on things that do not matter. And then we look back and wonder, why was I so hung up on this? Why was I such a wreck about that? Why did I spend so much energy in this direction, dealing with this thing, messing with this thing, bothered with this thing? Why did this mess with me so much? And we spend so much time worrying about all these other things that life will end up passing us by. My wife often told me, she don't really say this much anymore because I've kind of taken them from her. But she used to tell me all the time, dude, cherish these moments. You're not going to get them back. Cherish the times that we get to spend with our daughters. We're not going to get this time back. When they get grown, they get gone. We're not going to get this time back. Cherish the time that they want to hang out with us. Cherish the time that they want to be bothered by us. Cherish the times that they want to, hang out with us. Cherish the times that they want to be all up in our space and in our faces, because there's going to be a day where they're not going to want to be in our faces like that anymore. And I took that to heart. We don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, but we spend so much energy and time on things that do not matter. I was talking to a guy earlier today, and he was saying that he's got this project that he wants to work on, but he won't work on the project, but instead he wants to play Madden. I'm like, dude, what is playing Madden going to do for you when it comes to what you're trying to accomplish? Now, if it's your means of downtime, I get it. That's fine. Do what you do. But if you're going week after week after week, not doing the thing that you know you need to do in order to move forward with your life, what is playing Madden going to do for you? You're wasting time. You are wasting time majoring on a minor. I just got to get another game of Madden in. Why? When your dreams are literally dependent on you. You got to make your dream come true. Nobody's going to hand your dream to you. You got to make your dream come true. What are you doing? Majoring on the minors. I just got to get another game in. I just got to play another hour. I just got to. Why? Why do you need to do that? Majoring on the minors. And so again, this word perspective has meant so much to me this year, because it's really shown me, dude, the energy that you're spending on things, you need to check that. Why are you spending so much energy on this? I had to check myself because I'm a good keyboard warrior when I want to be. And I had to check myself on that because I'm like, dude, you're spending 2 hours arguing with people who have zero relational equity with you. Why? Why are you doing that? Why are you spending your energy trying to get somebody who you know ain't finna agree with you about anything you talking about? Why are you wasting energy on this person? You're majoring on a minor, now you all upset. Now you can't talk halfway to your wife, can't talk halfway to your kids because you're so steamed about whatever it was this person just clapped back at you with. Who cares? This person is not connected to you in any way, shape, or form except for this comment under a thread. Why are you wasting energy on that? And so again, perspective. What are you spending your energy on? What are you spending your time on? What is it that you value so much that's in the way of what you're trying to do with your life? What is in the way of you enjoying the life that you have? Seeing things that are going on around you and just basking in that. What are you so locked in on and so focused on that you can't see? Talking to this other dude the other week, and he was talking about how things just seem so bad in this one little pocket of area of his life. And I said, the reason why things seem so bad is because that's all you focus on. Bro, you got 98% of your life going great, but you're only focused on the 2%. Why are you so focused on the 2%? And again, everybody's 2% is different, so this isn't a referendum on if you got something serious going on, you need to go handle it. But again, everybody... Sylvester said, I agree, but I still need to drag a fool in the comments every now and then. It keeps me balanced. Listen, all I'm saying is, pick and choose your battles. Because listen, I'm all for a good little fight every now and then too. But again, it's a matter of perspective. If me, what I'm saying is, if I'm so fixated on getting my lick back that it's now affecting my house, nah, bro, we gotta do something about that. But again, it's not just about clapping back in some comments, even though I love a good clap back. It's also about just recognizing that sometimes we can major on the minor things and it makes us overlook the big things. Because again, this dude, 98% of your life is going great. You so focused on this 2% that's going wrong and thinking your whole world's come to an end. Bro, the only person thinking that is you. You got to get underneath that. Why are you feeling that way? Why you feel like that? 98% of your life is going amazing. This 2% you focused on, it's just a blip. Why are you pouring so much energy into the 2%? What is that 2% going to do for you? What is that really going to do for you? And so again, I'm saying all that to say, in my grandpa way, my word of the year has been perspective. And it really has given me an opportunity to kind of take a step back at everything and recognize what's important and to make sure that I keep the main things, prioritizing what matters the most and not letting those things fall to the wayside in favor of something that doesn't matter in the grand scheme. Again, if it matters, that's one thing, but if it's not even a part of your priorities list, why are we giving it priority energy? Woo! If it's not a part of your priority list, why are you giving it priority energy? D said, I don't have time for people. I clap back in my mind. That's what I'm saying. Again, some of these people don't even have any relational equity with us. This ain't my brother. This ain't my sister. This ain't a church member. This ain't my wife. This ain't my kids. Why am I giving these people priority energy? They ain't even a priority in my mind. They're not even a priority in my life. Why am I giving them priority energy? And so again, I say all that to say and to encourage us today, take a step back for a moment and ask yourself the question, what are the things that matter the most to me? And how much energy am I giving to these things? Do the things that I'm giving all this energy to, in the grand scheme of my life, in the grand scheme of the things I'm trying to do with myself, do they really matter? Or am I giving priority energy to things that aren't even on the priority list? You're watching and listening to the Just Talking About podcast with your boy Eddie D right here on the various platforms of social media as well as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We are presented by Rebirth Publishings, my publishing arm of the 3-time award-winning Affinity Theory, and Echoes, books 1 and 2 of the Affinity Saga. You can check out both those books by going to the Affinity Saga store. Or by checking out the bio in which you can get that information as well and secure your copies of my books, The Affinity Theory and Echoes, my adult superhero romance thriller saga. You're going to have such an amazing time with those books. I promise you, you're going to come back to my DMs talking about I need book 3 once you have finished reading these books. And so I encourage one and all to check us out there at the Affinity Saga store. Again, you are listening to and watching the Just Talking About podcast with your boy Eddie D, where I'm just here spitting truth about whatever it is that's on my mind. The final thing that's on my mind today is kind of an extension of what I just got done talking about, in that I want to help you all to set better goals for yourself. A lot of my clients who see me, they talk about wanting to do things that they would love to do, want to be a part of, trying to change the trajectory of their lives, trying to secure more money, all those sorts of things. And so I tell them, you know, what you want to be thinking about is, what is it that you like to do? What is it that you want to do? And how do you go about making that happen? Now, I ain't gonna lie. I rip everything that I'm about to tell you from a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. I did not write this book. I'm ripping it from here because the man was a genius. So I encourage you, if you haven't gotten a copy of Atomic Habits by James Clear, go get you a copy. I'm not here to try to promote his book or nothing like that, but I'm telling you, the man was a genius, because what he basically told us was the reason why we don't complete our goals is because our goals are too big. If we were to set smaller goals and make them achievable, we would end up doing all the things that we want to do and then some much faster than we think we would if we would just make our goals achievable and replicable. So, one of the things that he said that we need to do is we got to figure out, first of all, what is it that we want to do? Who is it that we envision ourselves being? And so, what is it that you're envisioning yourself as? What do you see yourself being, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? What is it that you're trying to do? And once you figure out what that is, you then need to ask yourself a follow-up question that says, what do those type of people do? What do those type of people do? So, me, if I'm a writer, what do writers do? Write. Seems simple enough, right? So, once we understand and unpack what that thing is that those people do, I want to be healthy. What do healthy people do? They eat right, they exercise, get good sleep. Now I have these realistic things that can then help me to start setting realistic goals for myself, to put myself in a position to be the person that I envision myself being. With me, again, talking about writing, writers write. Writers read. Writers edit. Writers, devour content. Writers allow their imaginations to run wild. Writers plan, they plot, they scheme, they put things together, they figure out how to make this say this, they figure out how to use their imaginations to speak truth. All these different things that writers do. And so in the midst of that, I started paring down, what can I do to make that, all these things that writers do, something easy and achievable for me to do. And so when I distilled it all down, and let me make sure I say this, there was a person who I wish I could go find the video, probably could find it if I go looking for it hard enough. This lady basically said, Here is what you need to do in order to write your book. Write. And that's the end of the video. Once she said that, and I sat there and I looked at the side-eyed, but she was right. So I said, using the blueprint that James Clear gives us in Atomic Habits, I made my goal very simple. Every day, for 5 minutes, do something book-related. Again, being a self-published author, I don't just write. I'm also doing all the other things too. So, I got to edit. I got to, do the book cover. I got to do the marketing. There's all these different things, all these different components that come with being an author, an independent author. Not that traditionals don't do it themselves, do stuff too, but they got the luxury of having a whole team backing them to do all the other stuff. So, for me, I got to do all the stuff. So, rather than chaining myself to a desk and just writing, I instead made it all encompassing. So every day for 5 minutes, I'm doing something book related. Whether that's writing, editing, book cover design, marketing, TikTok videos, whatever it is. Even so much as research. So if I'm watching a show or watching a movie, thinking about a plot, journaling down little quips and sayings that I want my people to say at some point in a book, listening to music, creating playlists, playing those lists in my head, taking a break from things, going for a walk, letting my imagination, all these different things are components to every day for 5 minutes, do something book related. I tell everybody, I didn't expect the Affinity Theory to come out until 2027. I'd given myself a good 5-6 years before the first book was going to come out. I didn't think I'd be ready by then. When we got to September 2024, in fact, I was talking to my auntie, AA Lewis, and was talking to her about, what my book was about and where we're going and all the sort of things. We're getting ready to launch it in November. She said, bro, what are you waiting on? Your book is ready now. Go on your platforms and make your book available now. You're wasting time. You have done everything you can do with this book. Release it. Again, 2024. I started in 2021. I didn't think it was going to be ready till 2027. But the book was already ready in June of 2024. And I was just sitting on nerves. Is it really ready? Is it really ready? October 2024, we released the book. I'm saying all that to say to us today, Atomic Habits, making your goals, making your steps small and achievable and replicable to where every day you're doing something that is pushing you toward your goal, to the point where you may get to your goal years ahead of schedule. I didn't expect book 1 to be ready when it was ready. I didn't expect book 2 to be ready when it was ready. Book 3 is on its way. Book 4 is being written. We talking to my girl D in the box, who's gonna be our screenwriter. I definitely have not forgotten about that. And so all these things that are coming to a head, all those are part of the same system of every day for 5 minutes, do something book related. And so I'm encouraging us today, whatever, y'all, you see, I see you, D. And so I'm saying all that to say, whatever your big idea is, because I tell everybody all the time, my big idea, I want the theme parks. I want the major TV show 9-season deals. I want the merch. I want the theme parks, right? All of that started every day, 5 minutes, do something book related. Every day, 5 minutes, do something book related. And so whatever your big idea is, you want to distill it down to its simplest goal and make that goal the thing that you do every day on the path of becoming the person you want to be. Sometimes we get in our own way because our goals are simply too big. And so rather than focusing on the big goal, the big end game, we got to focus on what we can do today. What can you do today to get yourself closer to where you want to be? And let that thing be the thing you focus on every single day. Don't try to become the big thing today. Major success does not happen overnight. It's little bitty steps that we repeat over and over again on the path to becoming the persons that we want to be. So whatever that is, whatever that big idea is, distill it down to its simplest block, to its simplest step. And in doing so, watch as you start to become the person that you feel you are meant to be. But not because you're stretching so far to become that person, but instead because one day, one moment, one little bitty goal at a time, you are making the steps to get to where you want to be. Think about it like this. Every mountain that's ever been scaled was scaled not because a person started from zero and got to one. No, it was one step at a time. If you focus on putting one foot in front of the other, one step at a time, I promise you, before you know it, you're going to look back and see how far you've come en route to where you're wanting to be. I want to thank y'all so much for spending some time with your boy on today as we've been on this podcast. I'm really grateful for the opportunity, as always, to speak a little bit of what's on my mind with you all. I'm just really happy to be on today. I didn't think I'd get a chance to get on here today, but I do appreciate y'all so much for taking the time to listen to me. We're going to get this packaged up and we'll have it ready for you all to listen to on Thursday. So if you missed any part of this podcast, this episode will be available on Thursday on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. But again, we are certainly grateful to each and every one of you who have thought it not robbery to spend a little bit of time with your boys. I just ramble on about the things that are on my mind. I'm just grateful. We are again sponsored by Rebirth Publishings, the publishing arm of my adult superhero romance thriller saga, The Affinity Saga, with Book 1, The Affinity Theory, and Book 2, Echoes. You can go into the Affinity Saga store to check those books out. But again, I thank y'all so much for spending some time on the Just Talking About podcast with your boy Eddie D right here on the various platforms of social media. As I always say, if you can't see the good, be the good. I love you guys. Peace out, homies.